Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to a Halloween edition of the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube.com, Twitter X, Instagram, and Facebook. I am your resident baseball player and show host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 20 minutes or so. I hope you're having a fantastic, a happy, a spooky, or a whatever version of Halloween that you are looking to have. Today, I am dressed up as a baseball player on Team Romanella, coming to a field near you in June 2026. So myself and my beautiful fiance are dressed up as our own baseball team today. We hope you're dressing up and having some fun on this Halloween. If you are, send us some photos on the social media, The Rome Show 1, Instagram and Twitter X. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. Go ahead and subscribe, follow, whatever, or head to the YouTube, youtube.com/The Romanellas. Head there now. Okay. Once you hit subscribe and you've subscribed for at least a minute, you can comment live on the show. Would love to know what the people are dressing up like for Halloween, because in my opinion, one of the best holidays out there. We got a great show for you today. Before we get you ready to go trick-or-treating later on, Thursday night football was atrocious last night for one team and very good for another. I think you saw the death of Mike McDaniels, Tua Tagovailoa, and the Miami Dolphins. We get to that in a second. We have Seska's Sense. That is our weekly college football picks. We've been doing this all college football season. Seska's 19-11 on the year, so you got to be tailing us and stick with us for Seska's Sense. We'll go around the National Football League as we do every single week, and I will give you my picks for each football game. And if we have some time, if we don't, doesn't really matter, but we'll save some information for later, and we call that What You Watching.
What you watching?
And that's probably going to be World Series Game 6. What a show for the people here on October 31st, Halloween. Hope you're enjoying it. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share it with a friend. Let's get right into it. Last night, the Miami Dolphins faced off against the Baltimore Ravens, and it was not good for the Fins. Lamar Jackson came back for the Ravens in this contest, and despite sounding overly excited for what Lamar Jackson did last night, which was good, not recklessly great. He was 18 for 23, 204 throwing yards, 4 touchdowns, and on the ground, he only rushed the rock 5 times for 14 yards. 2 touchdowns went to tight end Mark Andrews, another to Carly Kohler, and another to Rashad Bateman. The Ravens are now winners of 2 straight. Coming off their bye, they are 3-5, while the Miami Dolphins are fish fried because they are now 2-7. And here's my problem with the Miami Dolphins, okay? A lot of it has to come down to the quarterback we chose. If you remember a few weeks ago when the Dolphins were roughly 2-4, Andrew brought a sounder onto this radio show where he talked about how Justin Herbert should have been the draft pick for the Miami Dolphins and not Tua Tagovailoa. Well, that obviously went right out the window. They draft Tua, and here we are. And the problem here is there's enough good that's gone on in the last 5 years of this deal that people actually feel good about this, okay? And I don't blame them for that. There have been some good seasons. There have been spurts of really good football play. There have been spurts of this team being one of the best in the National Football League. But this is 3 straight years. Through 10 weeks of the season, this team is 5 games or more under 500. That is inexcusable. And my problem with it is when I'm watching the game, there's no emotion. There's no excitement. There's no drive. It's dead. It's stale. That sidelines is over. That's what I have noticed. Mike McDaniels, unfortunately, has to go. Tua Tagovailoa, fortunately or unfortunately, has to go. There needs to be a revamping of this franchise. And it needs to start with the head coach because, unfortunately, Mike McDaniels has lost this team. And by the way, dude, can you change your facial expressions? Like, I get that your team sucks, partly your fault. But when we're standing on the sidelines and something stupid happens and we're like, oh, we're looking up to the sky, like, don't we talk to our players about bad body language? How can you expect to be a good football coach of grown men if every single time the camera pans to you and something poor is happening on your side, it's obvious you can tell? Even last night, listening to the broadcast, they said, oh, it's great about Mike McDaniels. You can always tell when he's frustrated. No, that's not it. Go look at Andy Reid. Yeah, he gets fired up here and there. Of course, he's a head coach. But Andy Reid is a very even-keeled dude. That is what we're looking for here. I don't need the head coach that's making a mockery of the fact that we are a mockery. We know that, dude. You led us down this path. Let's change something. Let's do something different. And I don't want to come up here and scream for people's heads. I don't want people getting fired, but it's like, that's a bad brand of football. That is an ugly brand of football that I've watched for 9 weeks this season. It's gross. And there's no coming back from this. So the Dolphins need to make a serious change and multiple positions, okay? And the Ravens need to figure out how real this thing is, okay? Because when you're 1-5 sitting in this AFC, it does not look like you have much chances to make the playoffs. But in 2 swift victories, Baltimore took themselves from the bottom 3 or 4 teams in the AFC to now just 2 games, heading into Sunday, of course, because they're ahead of schedule because they were on Thursday, but just 2 games back now of that bottom wild card spot, which is exactly where you want to be. If it's not actually where you want to be. What do I mean by that? No chance the Ravens fans happy they're 3-5. But you got to take what you're dealt. So now we got smacked in the face. We're 1-5. What can we do here? Well, I got to tell you what, we got to go week by week, and we got to find a way to get back to 500. 2 games away now are the Baltimore Ravens. And it's just sad, man. It's sad what's going on with the Miami Dolphins because you go out and you get Tyreek Hill a few years ago. You have Jalen Waddle as the best receiver in franchise history through the first 5 years of his career, right? You have a pretty solid running game. You traded away your really good tight end to the Steelers. It's like, what are we doing? Am I rooting for a franchise that's living in perpetual, like, okayness? That's kind of what it feels like. And unfortunately, for me and the rest of the Miami Dolphins fans, I don't know if this is coming to an end anytime soon. The Rome Show ain't coming to an end anytime soon because we got so much more to do here on youtube.com/the Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, the Rome Show 1, and the OG, facebook.com/the Rome Show. Let's give you a quick commercial break. Then we come back with Seska Sense. And we go around the National Football League. What a time it's going to be after this commercial break. Stay with us here on the Rome Show. It's spooky season. We're back after this.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Titan Malug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Ooh, it's the Rome Show. Monster Mash. Happy Halloween, people. Andrew Romanella here, having a blast on one of my favorite holidays. I love the chance to dress up. Today I'm dressed up like a baseball player on Team Romanella. First pitch, June 18th of 2026. Can't wait for it. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday as we get you ready for the weekend here on the Rome Show. Where do we start with getting you ready for the weekend? We start with our newest favorite segment called Seska's Sense.
Seska's Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are merely educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advised.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in another version of Seska's Sense, your weekly college football picks. If you are not locked in, get locked in because this man's been making you some monies. First, we start with the scoreboard here, people. 19-11 overall on the season. If you want to break it down conference to conference, we are 16-8 in the non-Sun Belt, and we are 3-3 in the Sun Belt. For those of you that have not heard, the Sun Belt Conference, we are the official show of the Sun Belt Conference. Here you go. Picks are on the screen, starting with Minnesota -2.5 versus Michigan State. Minnesota's coming off a brutal road loss to Iowa. Minnesota's 5-0 at home. Michigan State 0-3 on the road, allowing 38+ points in all road games. Give us Minnesota at the -2.5. Row the boat. Row the boat. That's exactly right. Georgia at Florida. Florida's first game since firing their head coach, Billy Napier. Rivalry game has been played on a neutral site in Jacksonville, so there's no true home field advantage. Both teams actually are coming off of a bye, which is very interesting, and Florida rolling out a brand new head coach. With that, we are going to take Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs -6.5 at Florida. Cincinnati versus Utah. This could be a potential playoff elimination game. Yeah, let me say that again. Cincinnati versus Utah. This could be a potential playoff elimination game. Both teams are really good defensively, allowing under 20 points per game. Cincinnati's starting running back, Evan Pryor, has been ruled out for this contest, and the Utah quarterback, Dan Pierre, did not play last week because of injury, but he is expected to play this week. How much of an impact will the running back position be on Cincinnati? How much of an impact will the quarterback position be on Utah? We will find out. But what that tells me is we are taking Utah and Cincy under 55.5. We don't believe in the offense on this game in this show. San Diego State versus Wyoming. San Diego State has allowed 11 points a game. That's it. They are number 2 in scoring defense in the entire country, whereas on the flip side, Wyoming, not led by Josh Allen anymore, only scores 19 a game. The Aztecs still have an outside chance of the playoff, but they have to run the table. Banana Seska says we're going San Diego State -10 versus Wyoming. The official conference of the show, the Sun Belt Conference. Let's get to it. We're going Troy, Arkansas State this week. Troy has scored 30 points in 4 straight contests. Troy has given up 23+ points 3 of the last 4 weeks. Arkansas State scored 30+ 2 of the last 3 weeks. What does that tell you, people? It tells you to hammer the over at 51.5 on Troy versus Arkansas State. That is our Sun Belt pick of the week. Those are our Seska's Sense Week 9.
Seska's Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are merely educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advised.
Oh, yeah. Back after this, we're going to take 35 seconds, come back, and we go through the National Football League for the people. So much to do here on a Halloween edition of The Rome Show. Back after this. Oh, yeah. Welcome back in to the Rome Show on Halloween. Hope you're having a happy Halloween. If you aren't, learn how to. It doesn't have to be all about scary stuff, though my music is a little scary right now. It's the only unedited stuff that I could find that wouldn't get me kicked off of YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, youtube.com/the Romanellas. I mean, it's on my jersey. Make your life any easier, huh? youtube.com/the Romanellas. Twitter X and Instagram, The Rome Show 1, and Facebook, the OG. That would be the Rome Show. Andrew Romanella, we got like 15 minutes left in the show, maybe less, maybe more. I have no idea, but there's so much to do, including taking you around the National Football League and giving you our picks for week 9 in the NFL. So let's pop the music back on and let's get ourselves going here. And we are going week 9 National Football League picks. I even have a graphic for you today. Here it is. All right, we're going around the league. We start with the Bears at the Bengals. Joe Flacco might be injured. Joe Flacco's the quarterback of the Bengals. That should tell you everything you need to know. And it's not that he's playing bad football. It's just that Joe Flacco's the quarterback of the Bengals. Give me Chicago at -2.5. Vikings at Detroit. This was potentially a matchup for the number 1 seed in the NFC about 10 weeks ago. Now it's, can the Vikings stay afloat? Who the hell is their quarterback? Detroit's favored in this game by 9.5. Give me the Lions at the 9.5. Panthers at Packers. The Panthers are getting 13.5 points here. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. I know it's not Bryce Young. I know it's Andy Dalton, but this Packers team has been perpetually not themselves to start games, which I think gives the Panthers enough to stay within 2 touchdowns. Chargers at Titans. Chargers -9.5. Falcons at Patriots. Give me the Pats at -5.5. That could be my lock of the week. Okay. The Pats are only favored by 5.5 at home. Okay. So I'm going to take that because New England's been playing really good. All right. And I don't trust the Falcons. What? Especially if Kirk Cousins is starting on the road? Yeah, that's my lock of the week. Give me New England at -5.5. The Niners, they travel to the Meadowlands to face the Giants without Cam Skatta. Boo. That's a great Halloween name. I got the Niners, and they're favored by 2.5 in this contest, whether it's Brock Purdy, whether it's Mac Jones. I'm taking the Niners on the road at the -2.5. Indiana Jones. Hopefully that's who he dressed up for this Halloween. Going to Pittsburgh against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Indy is giving 3.5 points. I will take Indy with the points. Give me them at the -3.5. Broncos headed to Houston. This is the second straight week a good football team is going to Houston, and they are the underdog. I picked against the underdog or the home team Houston last week, and I was burned, but I'm doing it again. Okay, I'm doing it again. I think this Denver team's good enough to cover the 1.5 on the road at Houston. Their defense is top 5 in the league that travels. Give me the Broncos at the -1.5. Jags at Raiders. The Raiders stink. The Jags aren't that good. They're going on the road, but they're still favored. Give me the Jags at the -2.5. Saints headed to LA to face the Rams. The Rams are favored by 14.5 in this contest. The Saints are starting new rookie quarterback Tyler Shook. I think it's stupid. Spencer Rattler wasn't your issue. That's not my decision. Give me the Rams, the -14.5. I believe they cover that really big number. This is that matchup. Everyone loves this matchup. We hope this matchup happens in the postseason. It's the Chiefs at the Bills. Okay. Is this the AFC matchup to go to the Super Bowl? It's can the Bills get the bugaboo off their back? No, they can't because it's not in the postseason. So until the Bills beat the Chiefs in the postseason, we can't have this conversation. And by the way, at home, they're underdogs by nearly 3 points. The Bills are getting 2.5 in this contest. It's a very tough one. Like, it should be so easy to choose the Bills at home as underdogs. But this Chiefs team is playing as good as this Chiefs team has played. This Bills defense is playing as bad as I've seen this Bills defense play. So with all that being said, give me the Chiefs at the -2.5 on the road in Buffalo. Finally, Sammy Darnold travels to Washington, D.C. to visit the White House and play some football against the Commanders. They are favored in this game by 2.5, most likely because the question mark at quarterback for the Commanders. Is it Jaden Daniels? Is it Marcus Mariota? Either way, I like the way this Seattle team's playing. They're 5-2 coming off a bye. Good defense. Sam Darnold's playing some great football. Oh, yeah, give me Seattle on the road at the -2.5. Those are my weekly banana picks. I hope you can see it. I put them up on your screen for the people. We will pop that up on the Instagram as well if you are looking to trail us this weekend. I have no idea what my record is. I am not even trying to keep it. And to be honest with you, I don't care because I've had so much fun watching the National Football League this year. I truly, truly mean it. I think there's a lot of parity. I think that any team can be any team. And I think it's almost the hardest year to pick games, which also, in my opinion, makes it some of the most fun. Kyle Norman writes in, wow, that fires me up. Kyle Norman writes in on X, do the Ravens make the playoffs if Lamar is back the rest of the season? Thank you, Kyle, for your write-in. Hope you are doing well at the new job. Let's take a look at the Ravens schedule real quick, Mr. Norman. Okay, they are 3-5. And they will go on the road to Minnesota next week, then on the road to Cleveland, then at home against the Jets, then at home against the Bengals. So their next 4 games are against teams that are under 500, and 2 of those 4 are arguably the worst teams in the National Football League. So off the jump, if you're asking me, will the Ravens even be in playoff contention after that victory last night? Absolutely, because their schedule sets them up to go from 3-5 to 7-5 in the next 4 weeks. After that, it's an eclectic group of teams, but you still have to play the Bengals twice, still have to play the Steelers twice, still have to play the Patriots, still have to play the Packers. That's not an easy road, but let's take that at 3-3, okay? You're looking at the Ravens being around 10-11 and something along those lines. 10 wins, 11 wins. That's what I believe is going to happen. When you look at the standings, Coach Norman, it looks to me as if it's a possibility because you're not so far behind that last wild card spot right now. And it's so bogged down. You have the Bills at the Steelers are leading their division at 4-3. So that's not exciting. Then you have 5-2, 5-3, 5-3, 4-3 to get down to the last playoff spot. Real possibility. So to put a bow on the question, do the Ravens make the playoffs if Lamar's back all season? Yes. The follow-up question, Kyle, are they back in the mix with the Chiefs and the Bills? I can't put my stamp on that yet. And it probably is true. It probably is true. Why I can't put my stamp on that, though, is because, and you know this as a high-level athlete yourself, you can't guarantee anything with the hamstring. Like, I think the hamstring is one of those injuries where you don't know what it's bringing you. You think you're healthy, you think you're good, then you make a legitimate cut or you do something, and bam, there goes the hammy. So do I want to believe they're in that class of the Chiefs and the Bills? Not yet. Should they be? Absolutely. But the other problem with that, Norm, is that I don't even know if the Bills are in that category right now, right? Are the Chiefs still in that category? I think there's so many question marks about the 3 or 4 teams that have been the best in the AFC over the last few years. And then there's so many question marks about the 3 teams that are now atop the AFC, the Colts, the Patriots, the Broncos. If it was 2005, we wouldn't think twice, but it's 2025. And you have the Kansas City Chiefs barely in a playoff spot. The Bills in the 5 spot and the Steelers in the 4 spot. I think that's what gives me pause, because I want to believe these last 2 weeks are who the Ravens should be moving forward. I want to believe that the Bills are who they've been the last 3 or 4 years, not who they are currently on defense this year. I want to believe the Chiefs, but I don't know if I can yet. So to answer your question, no, but I don't know if that category's even been created yet, because we have to see if we really do believe in Indiana Jones. Do we believe in Mike Vrabel? Do we believe in Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos? Norm, thank you, my guy. Thank you for the write-in on Twitter X. You can write in on YouTube. You can write in on all the social media sites. We just want you to write in. All right, let's finish this show, ladies and gentlemen, with my favorite segment of the week. That's what we call
What Show Watching.
And I hope you understand, as a guy that's wearing a baseball jersey, that has a baseball bat in his hand, though be it not regulation size, I will be watching this weekend the World Series. And if you're not
Show Watching
this with me, you're crazy, because this has been a phenomenal series. We got Game 6 coming up tonight, 8 o'clock on the hill. For that contest is Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers, looking for his 3rd straight complete game. You heard that correctly. What a wild statistic. He's got a 3-1 record in this postseason, a 1.57 ERA. On the flip side is Kevin Gausman for the Toronto Blue Jays, 2-2, 2.55 ERA. The Dodgers need to win this Game 6 to force a Game 7. And no, we are not making jokes here. That's just how it is. All right. And I don't know what I think, honestly. The fan in me wants the Blue Jays to win this thing right now or in Game 7. I don't care either one. But the baseball person in me is saying, I don't know, man. I actually think, though they haven't hit the ball well because their offense has been bad, averaging 3.5 runs a game throughout this entire postseason, the Los Angeles Dodgers, this is arguably the best offense in the league when going right. And I don't think the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff is that legitimate either, but they have been pitching over their heads. And when you got guys like Vladdy in 4-15 and you got homers in the first pitch of the game, those are all clutch swings. Jamie Keefe said it on the show last week. Pitching and defense gets you to the postseason, but offense could win you the World Series, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So, man, I want to believe the Blue Jays are winning it tonight, but I just think the Dodgers are too good. And when teams are too good, it's hard to hold them down. SCC_baseball writes in, can the Cowboys make it with their sorry excuse of a defense? You know, I got to tell you what, SCCC, by the way, first off, shout out to my guys at Sussex County Community College Baseball. Love them to death. Secondly, no, they can't. And here's why. It's not as much about the Cowboys defense as it is about the inconsistency of the Dallas Cowboys. We're watching for 7 weeks Dak Prescott, as everyone's claiming, play the best football of his life. Look at Dak playing so good. This is awesome. And then you come into a week where, man, it really feels like they should be able to hang their hat on, we're going to play this Denver Broncos team and prove to everybody that we might be as good as we think we are. And then you get slaughtered. Dak Prescott plays the worst game he's played all year. And you sit there and you remember, wait, hold on a second here. This is the Cowboys' MO. This has been the Cowboys' MO since Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith were leading them to their Super Bowls. That's the facts. We are good. We think we're good. We have talent on our roster. Underperform. We are 13-3. Giants come into town. We lose in the playoffs. That has been the Cowboys' MO for the history of the Dallas Cowboys. So though, Sussex baseball, I want to give you a little bit of a better feeling here about where the Cowboys might end at the end of the season. I, one, definitely don't believe their defense is good enough at all. And two, they have that stupid factor of, are we going to show up today? And when that factor is inside of your DNA, I cannot trust you.
What show watching?
One more. because I think this is going to be a fun series, and people have probably forgotten that basketball is even going on right now. Well, yeah, because you're going trick-or-treating tonight. We're going to grab some Halloween candy, and you have the World Series, and you have the National Football League. So it's been very difficult to probably stay up to all the sports going on right now. But the Chicago Bulls are 4-0, and the New York Knicks have lost 2 straight and are at 2-2. They play each other twice in the next 3 days. And I want to see if Josh Giddey, who's leading the Bulls with 19.5 points per game and 7.8 assists per game, and his 35-year-old counterpoint, Nikola Vucevic, who's averaging 18.3 points per game and 13.3 rebounds per game. That's a double-double for those counting at home. I want to see if they are as good as we think they are. And what's the response from the Knicks? You come out and you win your first 2 of the year, then you lose 2 straight. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't look great in the offense. What's it going to be? We will find out. That is what you're watching over the weekend, and that's our Halloween show. Hope you had a blast. I mean, I had a blast. If I could dress up in a costume every day, I would gladly do that. I hope everybody out there has an electric weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Share the show with a friend. Until then, I'm Andrew Romanella, and I am saying peace.